Everybody, November 26th, the day after Thanksgiving, I encourage you, it's Black Friday, everybody's busy, probably have some family around, maybe you have the day off, maybe you don't. My goal for you is just to move. We made a movement today, or a workout today, right? That's something that you could do with any part of your family. Maybe they work out, maybe they don't, maybe it's your kids, right? Maybe it's somebody a little bit older than you that doesn't move as well. Hopefully these are all movements that they could possibly get through and join you with for a quick 20 minutes or somewhere around there. So we're gonna start off with a warm-up. Take it slow. Maybe you ate a little bit much yesterday. Maybe you drank a little bit too much yesterday, right? Or maybe you just didn't move a lot yesterday. Everything's feeling stiff and stuffed. So just make sure this warm up, you're taking your time and getting into everything. So we're going to start off with 10 single leg calf raises. So what I would want you to do is go find a cabinet, a floor, a table, sorry, not the floor, the wall, a table, something like that to grab. And I'm going to grab with my right arm, right? And then I'm going to be balanced on my left leg. And I'm doing 10 on one side, right? So I'm just gonna pop up onto that up onto my toe, expose my heel to the floor, and I'm back down. 10 on one side, 10 on the other. Sumo air squats, a lot of times when we do air squats, we keep our feet right underneath our hips. I want you to go a little wider today. That's gonna control your depths. We're not getting as deep. What we're gonna do is really focus on opening up that groin. So I'm not as deep as I usually am. Maybe that chest caves just a little bit more, but I'm still focused on high quality movement in those sumo air squats. Once I'm done there, 6 high plank chest openers. So I'm gonna be in a high plank position, and I'm gonna try and reach back, try and keep my shoulders pretty square. So widen those feet just a little bit. Hands might be a little bit wider than your shoulder position. With my chest pretty close to the floor here, I'm gonna try and reach up, touch that ceiling. Bring that hand back down, reach up, touch that ceiling, right? We're looking for 3 on one side and 3 on the other, or you could go 6 alternating on those high plank chest openers. And then we're finishing off each round of this warm up with a glute bridge hold. Make sure we're not lazy on these. You gotta be very intentional when you're doing these glute bridge holds and driving our hips up towards the ceiling. So feet about hip width apart, drive those hips up towards the ceiling, squeeze your butt. It might not seem like much, but you get 10 seconds into this glute bridge hold, you're gonna start feeling your lower back, your glutes, the upper part and lower part of those hamstrings. 3 rounds on that warm up. Moving into a 10-minute AMRAP. So that means between these 4 movements, right, we're gonna get through this as many times as we can in 10 minutes. Yes, you're gonna have to stop. Yes, you're gonna have to rest, but you're just gonna repeat these rounds on a 10-minute running clock. Your score is gonna be your total rounds and reps. So movement number 1, we haven't done these before, but they're called power shuffles. We're gonna drop down to the power position, which is right at or maybe right above parallel, right? So I'm gonna have my feet right outside of my hips, get myself to parallel. I'm gonna try and keep myself in the screen, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shuffle 5 times to the right, and then shuffle 5 times back to the left. That would be 10. Shuffle to the right 5 times, shuffle back to the left 5 times. Each rep is a step when you're in your power position. What people end up doing when they do these is, right, here's my power position, nice tall chest. One is, we end up getting a little bit high, and all of a sudden we're almost standing up while we're shuffling. We're no longer working that posterior. Another thing people like to do is bend over a little bit too far. So I'm more in this position here, right? Think about keeping that chest or those shoulders on top of your hips, which are on top of your feet. Okay, so make sure we're trying to stay in that upright position. So 20 power shuffles, 5 to the right, 5 to the left, 5 to the right, 5 to the left. Then we're moving on to 15 plate or line hops, right? So I have a plate here. This is a weightlifting plate, but you could find anything that you wanted to jump on that's just a little bit off the floor. A nice, strong, sturdy book, magazine, anything like that. It could just be that you're jumping front to back. It doesn't make any difference to me. The goal of this is to get the heart rate high. Right, so 15 plate hops, right? Or I could be hopping over my line, but I am trying to go front to back. So just a quick 15 of those. Moving down to the floor, 10 push-ups. Okay, so good strong position with those hands. Corkscrew those hands into the floor, good strong core position, chest to the deck, and drive yourself tall. If you need to, drop down your knees. Requires you to walk your hands out just a little bit. Chest to the floor, drive myself tall. Make sure we're driving ourselves tall by keeping our palms nice and planted in the floor. If you need to, move over to a wall, right, to get those good strong push-ups in. Here, I'm looking for maybe more of that face getting all the way to the wall. Try to progress from the wall to the knees, and then maybe you can do some prescribed push-ups eventually as we kind of work through these. Finishing off each and every round with a movement called a wall sit. That really, it's more work than you think it is. I'm a little out of breath from even demonstrating this stuff, right? But it's a little bit harder than you think it is, especially if you do it right. So when I do a wall sit, first I'm gonna demonstrate it away from the wall. I want your chest nice and tall, shoulders back, right? It's mimicking a squat hold, just like this, but I get to be against the wall. So I'm gonna use my door right here, but notice I'm not staying nice and tall on this thing, and I'm not slouching myself all the way to the bottom. I'm right in the middle, right at, or just a little bit below parallel. My hands stay in between my legs here, and my chest is against the wall. What ends up happening to a lot of people is we put our hands here, and we do this. Keep yourself tall. It's only 20 seconds that I'm requiring you or trying to get you to do that wall sit. It doesn't have to be unbroken, meaning you might have to do 10 seconds, take a 10-second break, and then do a nice 10-second wall sit again when it comes to that. All 4 of these movements are things that a lot of you are probably going to be able to do unbroken or get through quickly until it starts to add up. So my goal for you is to pick your time and rest and be intentional with your rest. So for me, right, the power shuffles I could probably get to pretty quickly. The line hops I could probably get through, and maybe my first round or 2 I could get through those push-ups quickly and unbroken, but I know eventually I might have to break them up. So I'm gonna start by breaking them up early. So maybe I get through that first round, I get to those push-ups, I do 5 push-ups, I take 20 seconds and I shake those arms out. I give myself a rest. I let that heart rate come down. I finish those 5 push-ups and then I go straight into the wall sit. Instead of getting done with a movement, resting intentionally for 20 or 30 seconds and then moving on to the next movement. The goal is to be just a little bit mentally strong each and every time you go through these workouts. So enjoy your Black Friday. Hope you had a great week.